Hello and welcome to Smart Impressions. I'm Rachel, and today's show is an exciting one because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs listening, watching, and out there, especially in the UAE where they're thriving, and bringing all these entrepreneurs together. So if you have thought about building a business, you have an idea that's great to start a business, or even if you've launched a business and you're sitting there going, oh my God, did I do everything right? What else do I need to do? Then today's show for you, because I got a great guest. I got Nancy Najm. She's here, and we're going to talk about launching any business in 90 days. Nancy, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for having me on this. Really appreciate it.
I love it. Now, we've met with one of your communities that's thriving here in the region. It's a women's community all about learning about how to invest in startups and what to do around that. So I'd love, how'd you get into this?
Oh, well, I was on the other side of the business. I was actually, I'm still an entrepreneur, as you said before. So I was in touch with the ecosystem here in Dubai. Everyone knows everyone in this entrepreneurship system. And I got in touch with Sophie Smith, who was the one who got the idea first because of the struggle that she found, which were the exact same struggle that I found while I was trying to fundraise for my startup. And it resonated so much to me. So this is how I got more and more interested in knowing what's behind the scene. And I got really involved practically in it. And I'm loving it. Yeah. So everybody who's interested in angel investment or how to become an angel investor, a female angel investor, they are super welcome to join our network.
Awesome. So that's how I found out about you. And like you said, it's a small ecosystem and entrepreneurs and supporting networks. It's called the Female Angels. I highly recommend it. It's great to be supported by people. And Nancy and I are on a similar journey to help. So being around entrepreneurs, helping, seeing entrepreneurs, clearly you came up with a strategy of how to help. And so that's what I want to talk about. It's this 90-day strategy to help any business. Right. So tell me a little bit more about that. Is it really, 90 days only to learn everything you need to build your business?
Well, actually, it's because it started out of my personal experience of launching my first startup. So this 90-day program is designed to eliminate the guesswork in launching a business. And really, this is something I wish I had when I launched my first startup. So this is why I created this program. It is divided into three main parts: the idea stage, the validation stage, and the growth stage. So technically, it's a step-by-step course that guides entrepreneur through a clear plan for launching their business from scratch. So if I want to say in the idea stage, we start by getting really clear on the business idea, making sure it aligns with the entrepreneur's passions and skills. I also help them in assessing the viability of the idea, of course, identifying their target audience, if it's there's any product market fit for it. And so by the end of this stage, they would know how to create a business plan and have the clarity that they need to move forward with this business idea. And now in the second stage, if I want to go to the validation stage, it is where we focus a lot about the solution and how to validate it. So we start testing this idea with real people through market research, surveys, interview, competitive analysis. So we need to gather feedback and interest, right? So, and once this idea is validated, I focus the shift to identify and understand the ideal customer profile, who they are, what are their pain points, their needs, their frustration. And from there, I guide them through how to develop their unique value proposition and developing the MVP, so to test it and validate it again and gather feedback. This is where we reach to the third stage, which is growth stage. And this is where I guide them to identify the actually best approach to grow their business, whether it's through bootstrapping or fundraising. And this is where we start developing their pitch deck and how to build a strong team, expand their network, how to achieve sustainable growth, so on and so forth. So technically, this 90-day course is a guideline, is a guidebook where they will have all the knowledge they need as a clear blueprint so they can follow to launch their business from scratch.
I love it.
Because it's not so long and it's not so short, and you can test it so you can pivot it in a faster time without losing time and money. Something that I've learned the hard way.
Unfortunately, yeah. And that's going to take me to my next question is, you've been mentoring businesses
Yeah.
for a while now. There must be themes that you see over and over that are repetitive among a lot of entrepreneurs. And clearly, I love that your passion was to help solve this main problem, which I think any entrepreneur is like, wait a second, you don't want to learn those pains, right? But what are some of the other common problems that you've come across that entrepreneurs are struggling with?
Oh my God, I love this question because honestly, I've been, like you said, mentoring a lot, and it's mostly our women. So there is so many problems. Actually, I want to call them challenges that entrepreneurs face when starting a business. The first major challenge would be overwhelm. Many entrepreneurs feels like they need to know how to do everything themselves from the very first beginning. But the thing is, they don't. All they need to do is ask for help and guidance.
Mhm.
Something that I wished I've done when I first started, it would have like spare me so many mistakes. And by seeking guidance, they can focus on taking like one small step at a time, and they will follow a clear plan, which will make their journey much easier. Rachel. So I think this is number one. If I want to think of another challenge, it would be perfectionism. And why? Because, in my opinion, perfectionism is the killer of all dreams. And I was
Mhm.
a victim of that, to be very honest.
Mhm.
There's a big misconception that being a perfectionist is a good thing. But in reality, perfectionism can be one of the lowest vibrations one can have, because most of the time it becomes an excuse or to procrastinate or as an exit ticket to quit even before starting. You cannot imagine how many entrepreneurs hesitate to launch their business or their idea or even their MVP just because it's not perfect yet. Or even worse, it's just because they are not perfect at it yet, which is such a shame, right? And
Yeah.
I always tell them, like when they say that says like better done than perfect, that's exactly, it holds so much truth because this is the reality in startups. It's better done than perfect, and then you learn. Now, if I want to add one more challenge that is very common, and I see it specifically among women, is imposter syndrome.
Okay.
Because all women specifically often struggle with like self-doubt, constantly questioning themselves and their capability, if their idea is good enough, if they are good enough to, or the right person to bring it to life, right? They always
Yeah.
compare themselves to other successful entrepreneurs, and they become intimidated by their success instead of like getting inspired. And this is something not really weird, because I was reflecting on the other day, and I think that here the media, and this is something that it's nice to highlight, plays a huge role in this area, because they don't highlight how many unsuccessful startups those same successful entrepreneurs, had to go through before hitting the jackpot, which
Yeah.
makes their journey much less relatable to any new founder. So this is, in my opinion, the most common challenges that I've seen with my clients as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there's just the challenge of overcoming and getting into the entire entrepreneurial space, right? Because that comes with the challenge. There's no doubt. And then there's also the sustainability of the business to actually
Indeed.
grow. And that relies on sometimes other people, but there's no doubt with a foundation as strong that you're providing, at least it's ensuring, a business model that has revenue guaranteed, right? Because a lot of
Yeah.
people have ideas.
No, for sure. But yeah, they need to follow the business plan. They need to make sure that there's viability. And I think the product market fit is one of the most important thing that they need to focus on.
Yeah, amazing. I just heard a stat the other day that said like 70% of entrepreneurs are not making enough money that they actually can sustain this. This is quite a high stat, and I do feel that that stat is probably based on the fact that people jump in and don't even know, what to do first. And really, I mean, I'm helping people connect with customers because I think a large part of this, whether it be funding or even sustainability, is about revenue. So if you're not making revenue your priority, you're kind of looking in the wrong direction. Would you agree that revenue is something and sales and marketing is kind of what should be prioritized?
Totally, totally. I mean, even for funding, unfortunately, nowadays it is less common to start to being funded without having revenue and traction. Something that I tell all my entrepreneurs, and which is not was not the case previously. In the back then, it used to be you hit an idea and you can get funded, right? Now the market is way more competitive, so you need to show market revenue and traction, which means marketing and having revenue are crucial. But then again, if you start small and you validate your idea and your solution, so you start gathering feedback and interest, so you can have some revenue, even if it's little. It's just good enough to show that your idea has a potential to survive and to be more than an idea, a business.
And to thrive, right? Essentially, that thriving is where you want to go when it comes to funding. There's no doubt you've been around and you know what these guys and girls are basically looking at. And we're talking business. I mean, I do this so that I can elevate. We're talking business. Let's keep it professional. And unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, it's about that dirham. It's about that dollar. It's about that revenue, right? Yeah. And that's business. That's what we're here to talk about. So I go back to that imposter scenario, because if you have imposter syndrome, if you've experienced a moment of self-doubt, that ego comes in, is like, you're not good enough. I hate to say it, it's the issue that every single human has in common, and we're all up against trying to fight every day to encourage ourselves to get our conscious to shut up, get back into our subconscious, to like basically really thrive into our authentic truth and what we're trying to do on this planet. So Nancy, you got it going, right? You're doing it. You're doing it. I love it.
Thank you. No, I totally agree.
So listen, this is a quick show. We're already on a minute 11. I just want to give people a little hint of what's out there and what you're doing to help people move along their journey of where they're supposed to be, because we are all at the right place at the right time where we are right now. And so if you are looking to launch that business, haven't thought about some of these areas, then definitely reach out to Nancy. She will guide you in the right direction to ensure you don't spend any time, money, resources, and you actually are on the right step forward to move forward and really thrive in a business environment. So thank you, Nancy, for everything you're doing. Really love it. I want to wrap up and make sure that everyone leaves with a whole bunch of value. And what is it for 3 areas that any business, any entrepreneur need to prioritize when it comes to launching their business? What should they be looking at and making it top priority?
All right. I would say first, they need to definitely get clear on their why. Understand why they want to start this business and what drives them, because this exact passion will keep them going when things get really tough. Second thing, they need to do their homework and really niche down. This is 2 crucial things. They need to research the market, understand the competition, and know exactly their target audience inside and out to be able to create a product market fit, which means revenue. The third part will be start small, really. They don't need to have everything figured out from the very first beginning. They just need to launch a small minimum version of their product or service, gather the feedback, and iterate, mold the product based on the people need, on the customer need. So it's better to start small and grow than to wait until everything is perfect and there's no product market fit. But honestly, to be honest, if I want to add one more thing, Rachel, if I want to be very honest with you above all, I think the most important thing they must consider is to learn to cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset. In my opinion, this is the foundation of everything. Everything boils down to your mindset, because entrepreneurship, we know that it's a very long journey. It's like a roller coaster. You have so many highs and so many lows. And without the right mindset, it's really difficult to sustain it. This is why they need to cultivate a growth mindset, because it will help them handle all the challenges that they will face in a different way. They will become more resilient. They will start shifting their perspective from seeing experiences as either positive or negative, but they will start seeing them as learning opportunities or chances for growth. And this mindset is what will truly prepare them and make this entrepreneurial journey more successful. Above everything, this is, in my opinion, the foundation of it all. And then you'll add technicalities.
No doubt. I mean, I always say A is for attitude. Your attitude about everything in life is going to make or break it for you, So when it comes to mindset, health, are you helping businesses changing and shifting their mindset as well? Are you working with partners to do this?
I'm not working with partner yet. We have something in plan in the future, but like actually that's the first session that I give to my entrepreneurs, uh, entrepreneurial mindset. Like just the foundation for me. This is something I crucially truly believe in it because it will shift your whole views on everything in life and will give you this grit and this resilience into going further and further.
I mean, there's no doubt, many of us are not blessed with the best upbringing and that foundation and that hardwiring of what our parents taught us and our environment taught us, is part of where we are today, but if we can take that ownership, we can get in that driver's seat and we can shift that and change it so that we can excel, especially on an entrepreneurial journey. That's so empowering and it's possible. So I hope that this session really inspires people that have been stuck, feeling that imposter, that competition, seeing all the success out there and wishing they were a unicorn, which doesn't come across every day, gets a little bit of a reality check and says, you know what, this is possible where you can actually succeed, but you got to put the effort and the time and change your mind to do it successfully, right?
Totally agree. Yeah.
Wow. Well, here you have it, straight from an entrepreneur, a mentor, and a successful businesswoman here in the UAE, Nancy Najm. I can't thank you enough for coming to the show and sharing your expertise.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure, really. And I hope this will go on. I will see you again soon, very soon.
Absolutely. So I encourage you, if this show evoked any of your emotion and triggered you in ways that you didn't expect, reach out to Nancy, get the help you need. I mean, asking for help is huge. It's crucial and it's really important. So she says passion, your research, and making sure that you know exactly how to cultivate that mindset. There's no doubt it's important before you go and start big, start small. It's just a little bit at a time, and build that network around you. Build that community. So thank you, Nancy, again. I'm so gracious for you to be here. And I hope everyone found this show entertaining and valuable to really unlocking that business relationship with your future, with your business, and to really impact the world. So thank you again. And I'll see you guys next week.
See you. Bye.
Bye.